Okay guys. So, naligo muna tayo. Bago tayo pumasok sa monastery. Naligo muna. Bago pumasok sa monastery. Charisma 16. Tagay sa saan tayong charisma na boss? Okay. Bagong ligo tayo. Okay, enter naman siguro with the cars.
I'm Carl. I'm supposed to enter as a novice.
We expected you sooner. Weren't you supposed to come here with your guardian? It's been so hectic lately, people will keep turning up out of the blue.
Sorry.
He got drunk last night and wasn't able to come with me today.
Such irresponsibility. And you share his guilt for abandoning him. Although, of course, inebriation is a sin. Well, we'll see. Can you read and write?
Naturally. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
So then, are you ready to enter the Order of Saint Benedict and renounce forever the temptations of this world?
I am.
Then you must rid yourself of all your worldly possessions. Sell them or give them to the poor and needy or donate them to the monastery. You may not enter this place burdened by worldly goods. Inside the gatehouse is a trunk in which you will find monk's robes. Put away all your possessions and dress yourself in the habit. Then you may rest a while I go and see the prior to arrange matters for your acceptance. Take care now.
Okay. She is. Hmm.
Strange feeling being without all.
Everything's prepared. It's time for you to take your vows.
Do I really have to wear this?
You'd better get used to it. You'll be wearing it for the rest of your life.
Ah. Mali.
Brothers in Christ, we have gathered here today to welcome a new novice into our midst. Dear brother, forget your former life and embrace your new vocation in the community of the monks of St. Benedict. Opus Dei, obedientia, obprobria, the service of God, obedience, and endurance of all discomfort. These are the cornerstones and succor of our order, which on this day shall become your own.
Screenshot, maybe.
Suscipe me, Domine, secundum eloquium tuum, et vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Suscipe me, Domine, secundum in loquium tuum vivam, et non confundas me
Oh my god.
ab
Oh my
expectatione
Henry.
mei.
Oh my god. Oh, oh no.
Accept your new name, Brother Gregor,
Gregor.
and wear it with honor. Welcome, brother.
Gregor! Welcome, Gregor! Oh. Oh. Ako nahihiya sa'yo, Brother Gregor.
Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
Thanks for helping me out during the ceremony. I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
You don't know Latin, do you? Don't worry. Work in the scriptorium will teach you fast enough. Why exactly are you here? Was it your choice? Or did someone force you to come?
Being here in the monastery is my dream come true. Being a monk is so exciting.
Well, no one's ever said that before. I'm curious if you'll still be singing the same tune in a month's time.
Would you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a novice and I'm here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I want an education. Although I must say, so far the monastic life's been quite unexpected.
Let's go then.
Good. But before we do, here's a letter directly from the prior telling you all your regular duties from tomorrow onwards. Make sure to read it this evening so you know how things work. Right, we can go now. Follow me closely. I'll explain everything as we go. Remember one word: discipline. It's your job to work and pray. You serve the Lord now, not your own bodily needs.
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
This is the way to the dormitory, where we all sleep. You'll find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me? To appreciate sleep. We rise before dawn every day. Takes a bit of getting used to. This is the garden, a place for silent contemplation and meditation. Centuries ago, this monastery was founded by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery, and his spirit wanders the corridors at night, punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware. Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work. As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren. And above us monks are the prior and the cicatas, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat. During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of Saint Benedict.
The rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about the circuitous. The library, the pride of our monastery, a trove of learning. We don't just read books here, we also copy them. You too will learn how.
And that's all. Today you are still free from duty, but tomorrow you begin work like the others. If you need anything, ask any of the brothers. We will be glad to help you. And I recommend you get to know the other novices. You already know me. Then there is Siskin, Yodok, and Lucas.
Thanks for showing me around. There's a lot to learn here.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially, Abbot Peter. And soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
I see. Are there any rifts between the brothers?
Yes. From the moment talk began about electing a new abbot, it's been like a hornet's nest here. Strange you haven't noticed.
Tell me something about electing the abbot.
Abbot Peter is old. When he dies, they'll have to select a new abbot from amongst the brethren. The candidates are John and Nevlas. And if you ask me for my opinion, Nevlas is definitely the right man. Unfortunately, no one cares about my opinion because novices get no say.
Tell me something about life here.
Work, prayer, as if you didn't know. We serve God, and that's the
What are the roles of the various monks here?
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden. The abbot supervises everyone, and in his absence, the prior. But it's the circators you should worry about. They're the brothers who'll make sure we observe the rule. They can be quite strict, so if you want to avoid getting punished, always act righteously and do your duties honestly.
Who would you choose as the new abbot?
Why should I even think about that when I don't have the right to vote? Gregor, don't go poking your nose into other people's business.
The forbidden books must be in that cabinet.
It contains forbidden books. What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know, but I've no time for idle chat. I transcribe books from dawn till dusk.
What, you do nothing else?
It is my penance and my blessing. And now, brother, if you don't mind, what would you like?
I'd like to ask about...
Can't you see I'm working? Get away from my cabinet. The books stood in there aren't for your eyes to see. You're interested in what's inside? Forbidden books, written by the devil himself. Forget about them.
Apage, Satanas.
Salve Domine. What do you desire, brother?
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
Then he'd soon get his besides. God will be our protector.
Things will get worse. I can feel it in my joints.
What can you tell me about the novices?
What can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion.
I meant something specific.
But you know them yourself. Antonius is...
Can you lead?
Where would you go? You have everything.
Who would you like to be?
I've thought long and hard about it, and I've decided to support John.
Listen, brother. Is there anyone in the monastery who can help me get hold of something, well, something that's not so readily available?
Oh, yes? And what sort of thing are you talking about exactly? Forget about it, brother, and focus on prayer and work.
What would you like? Talk to me, brother.
I'd like to ask you something. Well, that's all.
No, Peter's a strong constitution. He'll still be on this earth for many years to come.
I wish all good health upon him, but I want change, and only a new abbot can bring that.
Waiting pays off. There's no hurry.
What troubles you?
Listen, brother.
Oh, yes? And what sort of thing are you talking about exactly? Forget about it.
I'd like to ask you... Can you tell me something about the...
7 centuries ago, St. Benedict of Nursia wrote the fundamental precepts are...
Do you never want to know what's going on out there?
And what should... Talk to me, brother. Praise be to...
Listen, brother.
If you're looking to get into mischief, I'm certainly not going to help you.
Things will get... My joints started aching just before they raised scallops, and now they hurt again. But I tell you, nothing is going to happen out there. You might be wrong, and besides, God will be our protector.
You've seen us drinking here, so either join in or swear you won't tell a soul. You won't want to end up like Lucas now, would you?
All right. I wouldn't mind some wine.
That's more like it. Sit down and have a drink, my lad. Brother, is this a tavern? Are we at a dogfight? Violence doesn't belong here. As you well know, this is unforgivable.
I've had enough of this.
You dare resist punishment?
I apologize.
Now, show me what you have on you. I must confiscate.
Okay.
And a pox on Nevis.
That kills your...
Peace be with you, brother.
I'm Gregor and I'm new here.
I know. I saw you in the church.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes the rule, does their work, and that everything is the way it should be.
When it's not the way it should be?
Then we're authorized to meet.
About you and...
Ask me anything.
Tell me something about...
Nevertheless is weak and toothless. He's full of hot hair. How anyone could think he'd make a good abbot is beyond me. Enough. I don't...
I'd like to know what's going on.
Well, the young brothers feel they don't have the same rights and responsibilities as we, who have spent much of our lives. Nevertheless is lying when he says he wants to right wrongs. All he cares about are benefits for himself and his cronies.
I'd like to help you if I can.
There is something you could do. I'm convinced Nevertheless must have done something that would greatly damage him if everyone found out. If he was preaching water and drinking wine, for example.
So I should dig something up on him and tell you about it?
Exactly. But I doubt you'll have any luck. Nevertheless is too cunning and careful to give anything away.
Once I find something out, I'll tell you. Thank you for
I saw you drink.
So, your eyes are working. Would you like to join us next time?
I'm inclined to report it to the prior.
Who do you think you are, laddie? I've been in this monastery for 10 years, and I won't have some young brat ruining my fun. Who do you think the prior will believe, eh? You or me?
When you put it like...
You know, we can be good to...
All right?
Talk to me, brother.
I'd like to ask...
Morning prayer.
This is not a good time for questions.
Paano? So, waiting lang tayo dito. Gulay. Pero pa yung oras. Mukhang magtatagal tayo dito, boys.
Or if anyone may perhaps
Brother?
read,
What are you doing here?
in such a way
Shouldn't you-
as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather
You're right, brother.
at the middle of the
This is your first war.
and let them again do what work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness or drive them away with excessive toils. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot.
Sunt mala que verbas, ipse venena bibas.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Nebulus, and I'm the provost here.
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all. I just write lists and send them out.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm the provost of this monastery, but in reality I spend all my time making sure my
Is there anything I could...
You know, there is. Perhaps you've heard that Abbot Peter is gravely ill. I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the abbot's ailment. With your help, I could find out the details, and together you and I could give old Peter a few more years to do good. What do you say?
You can count on my help.
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken. Now, you know, most of the brothers believe every illness is a message from God, and that it's not our place to deny his will. I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the medicine to cure them, then it's our duty to relieve people of their suffering. The cure for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library, but it will certainly be amongst the libri prohibiti, the forbidden books, those we aren't permitted to read.
Why are they forbidden?
Because they contain occult and demonic... It's nonsense, of course. This Ibn Sina also...
Where can I find it?
In the library, there's a large cabinet. No one will notice.
Is there anything...
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian should have another one, or you can acquire some lockpicks. But I can't tell you where or how. Perhaps Brother Salarius could help.
Why can't you do it?
Because I'm one of the highest-ranking monks here, and one...
You could just ask.
Do you honestly think I haven't tried? Unfortunately, Librarian Cyril is a stubborn...
I'm ready.
One more important thing. There's always someone in the library during the day. To pass unwatched, you'll need to go at night. It's locked, but I'm sure you'll manage to get in. They say Brother Salarius understands locks, but don't tell him why you need it. Once you have the book, bring it to me, and I'll then use it to make Peter's medicine. We'll soon have the election of the abbot over and done with.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. Today's task, 2 cockerel potions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby.
You need spirits, a handful of valerian, and 2 mint. Grind the mint, valerian and mint. We have, okay, valerian and mint. Now,
Things will get better with the new abbot.
Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands...
You're right, brother.
This is your...
punta dun.
monastery, aren't you?
Brother, this isn't a place for you.
Novices have no business here.
What do you want, brother?
Have no business here.
You shouldn't be here.
Paano kunin yung mga ano?
Ah,
I'd like to ask.
Talk to me, brother.
what trouble?
Walang ingredients eh.
Talk to
Ayun. One and 2 mint. Okay. Add the players and grind the meat, boil the meat. Mint muna. Okay. Okay. Grind the mint. Paano i-grind yun?
Peace be with you, brother. What trouble?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
What troubles you?
Really do this ko. Prayer.
Talk to me, brother.
Is it possible to learn something about the...
Only the abbot and the...
And can I see them?
No.
Is there anything I can do?
I'm glad you asked. There's one thing, but not long ago, a brother brought me a crumpled piece of parchment. He says he found it rolled up in a hole in the wall. The thing is, it was a...
Ovid? What is that?
Not what, but who? Oh, now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to class. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned.
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. I imagine...
Good. I'll look...
Thank you, brother.
Can you tell me something?
The art of love.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The pages of the book could be hidden anywhere. From the garden to...
Oras na ba? 10 pa lang eh. Morning prayer, 6 a.m. common meal. Assigned by Brother Nevas. Doon na ako lahat.
Praise be to Christ.
I'd like to ask you. Is there any way...
What would you like to do?
Not exactly.
John isn't my opponent, he's my brother. But there is something you could help me with. You must know there's a great deal of iniquity here in the monastery. I'd be interested to hear of anything I don't know.
Should I find out for you what's going...
Let me make this clear. I want to base my candidacy on putting things in order. But if I...
Very good then.
Thank you, brother.
Read. 12. Okay. By 12, okay, copy. Ayan. Boring sa loob. What?
Talk to me.
I'd like to... Tell me something...
Prayer?
Who would you like?
Well, the old abbot isn't dead yet. It's too early to talk about elections.
I'm so bored.
Salve. Be well.
Praise be to Christ.
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first. Here's the original.
Oh, suck. I don't know how to read Latin.
Can you read at all?
Okay.
What do you desire?
What is it, brother?
One, two, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ang boring sa loob. Boring sa loob.
Praise be to Christ.
I'm Gregor.
I know. It was...
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
I'd like to know something about the other...
I don't know much, but ask away.
Tell me about Antonius.
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never spoken to him. I've never asked.
You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
In the night, I overheard the cicadas in the cellar. They were talking about you.
Oh, no. So it's still not over. This isn't a life in service of God. This is purgatory.
Lucas, what's going on?
What do you think? Just like you, I saw the cicadas drinking and playing hazard as if they were in a brothel.
We should report them.
I agree. I warned them if they didn't stop, I'd go and tell the prior. But instead of mending their ways, they vented their anger on me. You've picked the wrong people to make enemies of, Lucas, they told me. Now I can't even count how many days and nights I've spent locked up in solitary confinement for the tiniest offenses, or for no offense at all.
Vadereto satana, nomquam soade mihi vana, submara quaelibas ipse venena bibas.
Is there something I can do to help?
Would you? I think all it might take is for you to go and sit down with them. Have a talk, set things straight. Then they'd leave me alone. But
I'm not afraid of them.
Brother, you have the... May the grace of...
Will you tell me?
I
mean, where you're from?
I'm a novice, and my monastery...
Come on. Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to... What has been isn't important for us. We can't...
Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't...
I definitely was there. I did come...
Brother, save your now.
Very well.
Bullshit naman. Nakulong na naman tayo. Skip all part. Ikaw naman. Itong Mongolid na to.
Peace be with you, brother.
My name's Gregor.
You can call me Siskin. Are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although, it's not important.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough.
Will you tell me something?
Look, nothing against you, but I
Are you hiding something? Why are you so reluctant to tell me anything about yourself?
I'm hiding a lousy past that I'd rather forget. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed... I was rich and I had everything. But then I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I...
But you didn't have to come here if you didn't want to.
No, not if I didn't mind being left to beg alms by the city gate. I had one choice.
They must have realized you robbed...
I donated some of the silver to the monastery when I...
And you stashed away the remainder?
Indeed so.
What's your plan with...
To get out of here as soon as I can. I'll wait another year or two until my hot-headed brothers cool off a bit, and then I'll...
That's all I wanted.
Please, keep it to yourself.
How is it that you...
I've paid off the circators to turn a blind eye.
I'd be interested... Tell me about
Oh, if there was a monk I'd recommend as a friend, with, of course, the exception of myself...
What can you tell me about Lucas?
It's a tricky situation with Lucas. No one really knows anything about him. I've tried so many times to talk to him, but he always backs away like a virgin on a whip.
That's all. I'd like to ask you...
It occurred to me you might be the man to ask. I'm looking for some lockpicks. Do you know anyone in the monastery who could help me?
Lockpicks, eh? I won't ask what for. My advice is to try Brother Solarius.
Mm-hmm.
Praise be to...
I heard you've been
What's it to you?
Oh,
And there I was, thinking you're sticking your nose into other people's business.
What would you like?
What are you doing?
Are you spying on me? Well, dear Gregor, I don't...
Hold your horses. I was passing by and...
It's no big terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during services. There's no time otherwise. I mean, at other times I don't get to read what I like. And
What kind of a book is it?
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Who knows what it means? I tried to count the syllables.
Oh, I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say. It sounds quite... prohibited.
Ah, prejudice. But you're right, it is prohibited. For no...
You're right. Knowledge should never be prohibited.
Oh, I'm glad you agree. Just take a look at the book. Just please don't tell anyone about the book.
I'll tell the abbot. I'm sure he'll be keen to hear what the monks get up to in...
What? What troubles you?
Will you tell...
Look, nothing again.
Very well.
Thank you.
I'm still...
It's no big terror.
I'll leave you be.
Thank you. And please...
Will you tell...
Look, nothing...
Very well.
Thank you. It's no...
Actually...
Greetings, brother.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the Order. I suggest you get to know the older monks.
I'm interested in... What can you tell me?
Oh, he's always got a smile on. I'm surprised he hasn't been...
Sounds like you don't have much time for him.
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. Believe me, Gregor, he's hiding something from us. In fact, now I come to think of it...
Do you know anything about...
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is all right. He's always happy to help.
I'm interested in Lucas.
Nobody knows much about Lucas. He keeps himself to himself. If you ask me, he's got something to hide.
Do you have any grounds for suspecting him of something?
Quite a lot. And also none at all. The circators who make the rounds...
Can you tell me something about your...
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner. Now...
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate. But he was kind... You know what? I'm glad to be here.
I'd like to ask... Who would you vote?
Why do you care?
I'm just interested.
I like John better. But like I've said, it's not our place.
Listen, there's something I ought to tell you. There's a dangerous criminal hiding in the monastery, and I came here to look for him.
Ha! I knew it! He's a villain. Who are you, though? Oh, it's better not to ask, isn't it? It's always safer not to ask.
Never mind that. Who's a villain?
That's Siskin. I always thought he was an odd one, the way he carries on. But now it makes perfect sense. He's a criminal fleeing justice.
You mean his not going to morning prayers?
So you noticed that too?
Actually, you could be right.
I think when you take a closer look at Siskin, you'll find he's the one you're looking for.
You've got the wrong end of the stick.
You think so? He definitely acts like a criminal. Who else would it be?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
What are you going to do to that fellow once you find him?
I don't know yet.
You should talk to the circators or the prior about it, not act on your own.
Must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let nonere be said rather early at the middle of the April. Again, what work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell, and the
Talk to me,
glory of
brother.
life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered,
I'd like to ask you...
receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in executing it.
I'm interested...
It was founded by
heretics, you...
They wanted to work...
Men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling.
What is it, brother?
For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys,
I'd be interested...
will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips.
I'm interested in your...
What could interest you about him? He's a no-good rat. He'll turn you in for the price of a turnip. I'd bet my life that if he wasn't here, he'd be a human scout, bowing and scraping for a few groschen.
That doesn't sound too flattering.
It wasn't meant to. No matter what you do here, watch out for him. He's got his eye on everyone, and he'll rat on you for even the slightest of infractions.
Therefore, when anyone receives the name of
Tell me about
Oh, if there was a monk, I'd
disciples with a twofold
What can you tell me about...
It's a tricky situation with Lucas.
He should show them all that is good
That's all.
and holy,
Thanks.
by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to be intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts.
Talk to me, brother.
I'd be interested to hear... What can you tell me about...
That there's no man alive less suitable for the monastic life than him.
You don't know young Lord Capon.
I've heard things. Siskin must have been like him. Fighting, drinking, fornicating. But then he had...
Why is he in the monastery?
No one knows. Maybe he's hiding from something. Or maybe he's being punished.
Do you think he has a secret?
Don't we all? But unlike the others, he absolutely refuses to speak about his love.
That's all I wanted. What about Yodok?
Be on good terms with him. If you show even the slightest hint you don't like him, he'll make your life hell. He's a slimy little pedant who'll rat you out to the superiors. Once he finishes his novitiate, I imagine he'll want to climb his way up the ladder to at least Sir Cater. He's a man who enjoys ordering others around.
I'm interested in...
No one knows much about him. He doesn't talk to anyone. He works, eats, sleeps. It's as if he wanted to get it all over with as soon as possible.
That's all. Thanks.
Each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out,
I'd like to know something about...
I don't...
whatever is necessary.
What can you tell...
Not a lot. I don't know him. Actually, I don't know much about him.
By themselves to read. After the
Do you know anything about Yodok?
I don't. He doesn't like me, and he's on very friendly terms with the circuit.
Let him read to himself in such a way
Are you joking? Don't you know anyone at all here?
Why should I?
I'd have thought you might want to know who you'll be spending the rest of your life with.
Don't get upset.
Work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot.
Peace be with you,
Therefore, when anyone receives the name of
Aha, Gregor.
he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and
I'd like to
noble
ask you something.
by his deeds even more than by his words. expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples. But
Are there ever any?
Unfortunately, yes. The biggest.
Hearts and ruder minds.
Tell me something.
The old abbot is practically on his deathbed. There are two candidates. Half the monastery wants John, the other half, Nevlas. And there's no chance they'll come to an agreement.
Tell me about John.
John is a circator, and the oldest brother here. It would be only natural if he took the crosier from Peter. He has experience.
I'd like to know.
Nevlas manages the monastery's property. He doesn't have the most experience, but although perhaps he's too keen to change our routines here, which many brothers.
Why does it matter?
Because the future direction of the monastery hangs in the older brothers take a different view. They say the younger monks want privileges they haven't earned.
I thought.
You're right. But we.
And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict.
I'd like to ask you something.
On the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said,
I'm looking for something a little unorthodox.
And what would?
I was mute and was humbled and kept silence even from good things. Here the
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lockpicks?
Times to refrain even from good speech. So much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words.
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Just for fun. Pull the other one, brother. It's got bells on. Anyway, you're back.
For it is written, in much
The heck?
escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. Rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a...
Really? This brother bull stuff.
To speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying, safe.
What would you like?
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the today's task. Once you finish them, you'll find me.
Disciple to open his mouth.
Salve Domine.
What do you desire, brother?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. What do you desire?
I've discovered something.
I see.
The older brothers are picking on novice Lucas.
It seems that now even brothers can't avoid...
The circators go into the cellar at night to drink wine.
I thought so. John always reeks of it. And he wants to be abbot. Hypocrite. Perhaps if you told the prior, that would clip John's wings.
That's all I know.
If you find out anything else, come to me. I'd be interested to hear it.
What do you want me to...
I'd be interested to...
I'd like to...
Talk to me.
I'd like to ask... What are the...
Well, the abbot is as...
Who would you like?
What kind of question is that?
Who's in charge?
Abbot Peter.
And what happens when the old abbot...
Then...
Are there any...
Yes, on one side are brothers who'd like to see...
Stop, Gregor! Brother? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you...
I had other affairs.
Brother, save your excuse. This is your first warning.
What is it, brother?
I'd like to ask...
I'm looking for...
And what...
I'm looking for...
Lock pick?
I'd like to practice...
Just for fun. Talk to me.
I'm here to work.
Excellent.
You call that a copy? You've...
What would you like?
Don't even look at that cabinet. It contains forbidden books.
One, 2, 3, 4.
Ah, this looks like the Saracen language. Ib al-Hassan. That's what I'm looking for. Avicenna.
be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again know what work has been done. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on humility. The first degree of humility.
Talk to me, brother.
Without delay.
Here's the book you wanted.
Those who hold nothing dearer.
Amazing. This really is... There'll be no investigation. It would be against his best interests, as he'll look like the one who wasn't taking proper care of the books. It will drive him mad. I didn't leave that book out, or did I? Is there anything I can do for you in return?
Will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors,
I'd be interested in finding out the background of the other novices.
That's a strange wish you have. And the only ones who know everything about the novices are the abbot and the prior. They keep a record of every monk in the abbot's book, but you'll never get your hands on it. It's locked up in the prior's study.
Thanks. You've helped me immensely.
No, thank you. About that book, don't even think about breaking in to get it.
I'd like to ask...
The rule of Saint Benedict.
Salve Domine.
What do you desire?
Expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples.
I'd like to ask...
Illustrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he has caused, and should know that to whom more is committed. From him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery, unless it be one whom he finds works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of Sila, the well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold... ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments. Knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death.
That damned Sigismund. The lawlessness he brought to this land will have no peace till the afterlife. Have you been to Ujits to visit your parents' grave? Aye. This here it's supposed
Hmm. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight.